Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Well. We're in the book of Proverbs today, continuing on this series on the Beatitudes and on mercy. And I'd like today just to drill down a bit on the word envy, and that's going to be in Proverbs 14, verse 30 to 31. A heart of peace gives life to the body, envy rots the bones. Whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. So envy rots your bones. Envy often in the Bible is described as greed or avarice or covetousness, which we see in the Ten Commandments, and we'll go there in just a minute. But let me try and unpack envy as a definition. I'll quote from a book by Paul Hessed. And he talks about how envy allures, but nothing ever satisfies it. And it can't be neutralized by either abundance or by sufficiency. There's a demand for improvement, but there's always an indifference to any results. There's a yearning in your life, but it's tinged by boredom. There's a promise and yet betrayal. Okay, so staying in the Old Testament, the Ten Commandments. And I like to often look at this in two parts. That the first five are about your relationship with God, and the second are your relationship with other people. So to break it down simply, you shall have no other God before me. God, you are God, and that you can't be made into an idol. You're a living God. And that if you've got a name, that means we can have a conversation with you. And more so that if we are going to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy, we are to work and rest with God. And in all of that, you honor God because of the life that he brings to you through like your parents. And that we should honor God because he's living, he wants to work and play with us, and he wants to bring us life. Okay, the second half of the Ten Commandments is about our relationship with each other, and it's about protection. First off, you should protect life itself. We recognize that God is God and we should be in relationship with him, and he provides people like our parents as life-giving forces for us, and that therefore we should not commit murder, we should not destroy life. More so, we should protect relationships which produce life, covenant relationships, and the very people in our lives which bring a meaning to it. Also, we should protect the environment for these people so that they can thrive, and for ourselves so that life can be honouring to God. And more so that there should be a truth within that, and that we shouldn't bring other people down and destroy the fabric of our emotional society and our physical society so that life can thrive. And we come down to this last one, that you shouldn't covet, you shouldn't envy, so that you have healthy hearts and be pure in spirit. Now, interestingly, we tend to put this in an order of ranking, don't we? Murder is terrible. And actually, adultery is really unfortunate, but it shouldn't happen, and it is corrosive to society. Well, theft, some people think all property is theft, but, hang on to what you can. And, well, we all like a bit of gossip and knowing what's going on, don't we? But we wouldn't want to really pull people down unless maybe there's a local by-election or something like that. And there already you see that your heart has been affected. And coveting is almost diminished as being a smaller part of the Ten Commandments. But let me just bring you to some teaching from Jesus. So Jesus sets up the parable of the rich fool, which Ben spoke about the other week. And someone in the crowd says, "Teacher, help me out. I want justice. My brother is trying to do me out of my inheritance." And Jesus rebukes the guy in front of the crowd and says, "Look, this has got nothing to do with me. And actually, you're the problem." And he turns to the crowd and says, "Be on your guards against all kinds of greed, all kinds of avarice or envy or covetousness." And what Jesus is pointing out here is that it's a societal problem. Everybody wants a bit more of the action. Everybody's not satisfied with what they have. Everybody wants to have more than the other person and won't empathize with the needs of those around them. Jesus is challenging the society there that Actually, covetousness and greed is probably the root of what society's problems are about. Middle Ages theologian Thomas Aquinas recognized that there were three stages of envy. First, you attempt to lower another person's reputation. And then there's an emotional response where you feel joy at others' misfortune and grief at other people's prosperity. And that this eats into you and creates a sorrow and hatred. And you can see that this is like a reversing of what's happening on the 10th commandment, and that you would feel bad about other people or good for their misfortune, that you would actually try to pull down their reputation by false witness and take away from them the very fabric of their lives, even wanting to destroy the things which bring them life and take their life completely. And this is where you can see how envy rots your bones. It actually destroys the very fabric of our society, the things which support it and hold it together. So my thought for the day is that if you're feeling a restlessness, that you just check your heart to make sure it's not being fueled by envy or covetousness. And it would be my prayer that you'd find a peace and a satisfaction through mercy and righteousness that would bring honor to God, and that your restlessness is not going to cause oppression to those who don't have.